That's the only thing. That's all I have to say.
Mrs. Rum, the video is on. The audio is just waiting for you to say go. Yes, ma'am. Mics are hot.
Thank you. Okay, the time is now 6 o'clock. Go ahead and call the meeting to order. We'll start with the pledge of allegiance.
Drum.
Here.
Maine. Here. Miller.
Here.
Murray.
Here.
Mr. Thompson. Here. All present and counted for. We can continue.
First, the first agenda item is the approval of the agenda. Do I hear a motion?
Motion that we approve the agenda.
Green. Motion by Mr. Thompson. Discussion. Want to take it up?
Maine. Yes. Thompson.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Drum.
Yes.
Murray.
Yes. We're going to start with superintendent comments and student recognition.
Yeah.
Okay.
So kids, I'm going to announce your name by building. If you want to come on up, look at, get your certificate, shake the hands here, and then we'll take a group picture of all the kids at each building over there in front of the black background there with the Tipp logo. Okay? What questions you have, guys? And yes, you have to smile at your picture. Right? Make sure you show all your teeth, even if you're missing a couple. All right. So at Evan Coffin, we have 5 kids that were recognized for their character qualities this past month with respect. So that's a great quality for these kids to demonstrate. We have Rocco DeSantis. Rocco here. There we go. And if I mispronounce your name, yell at me later. Jacob Howard. Jacob. Clara Heater, Matthias Hellman,
You high five. I'm angry.
and then Rocky Johnson.
Excellent work.
And parents, you're welcome to go over there and get pictures as well. While you're doing that, I'll get the, well. Oh, no, you.
Okay, remember it goes down. It is.
I'll go with pictures, parents? All right. Broadway, we have students that are being recognized for their creativity and hard work on the recycling project. The students began by learning about the animal adaptations, then were challenged to use recycled materials to create their own animals. I don't know if we had did you guys bring the animals with you today? Cool. Yeah, so they can, once they can, you're welcome to come and kind of explain it. Give us a little quick information on your animals. First, we have Gwen Cole in third grade. Is Gwen here? There she is. A rattlesnake.
Wow.
I can see.
That's awesome. I like it. That's so cute. Good job. Good job.
Harrison Elam. Harrison here? There he is. What did you make? A gorilla out of the hundreds.
Oh.
Thank you. Good job.
Boom.
We had Alex, and then if I butcher the name, I apologize. Iquinta, Alex. Is this Alex? All right, Alex. What did you make?
Yeah, it's like that big name. I love it. Very cool, Alex. Nice job, buddy.
Came on the important part, good.
Okay, that work?
And last, third grade is Rosalind Smith. Rosalind here. There's Rosalind right here. What? A red.
Red Very fancy. Good job.
Again, kids, go over there, take pictures. Parents, you're welcome to go over there some other. All right, at the middle school, we have some rock stars of the week for, the first one was for respect, and we have Kaylee Elkinger.
Elsinger.
Elsinger?
Yep.
Elsinger, thank you, in sixth grade. Dawson Hensley. There's Dawson. Bentley Schroeder. Bentley here. Okay, and then we have responsibility rock stars was Meredith Forger. Did I say that right? He's not here, okay. Aubrey Ernst. Aubrey here. There's Aubrey. And I'm not sure if she's here, but I hope they don't butcher the name. It sounds like I'm going to. The Beta Ruteau in seventh grade. Beta. All right. Those are the rock stars of the week. Where all the rock stars go? You all took off already? Oh.
Oh, you have numbers. Good job. Okay.
All right, and then high school, we had quite a few awards for the arts. So we had some kids in the Dayton Ballet's production of Nutcracker. We had Molly Dunn. Enjoy being on stage for that.
Good job. Good job.
And then Ava McKinney. Was that performance over Christmas?
Yeah.
So that was when you spent your Christmas vacation?
Yeah.
And then we have the cast and crew who just finished up their production of the music scene production of 9 to 5. We had what, 8? We had 8 kids that were in it. They was invited. We got a nice seat to watch the show this weekend. The kids did great. The biggest number of kids in the production has from the city. They did a great job. And so Connor Sapor, you guys did that right. Hayden Derrick. Sarah George. Carolyn Kaitis.
You were awesome, Dan. You were awesome. Blair wants to be.
Yeah.
Parker Kaitis. Gavin Poronsky.
You were amazing.
He's not here. Jack Wyatt.
Oh, I know. I don't know. I don't recognize you without the mustache. Yeah.
That was excellent. You did a good job. You did a good job.
You were awesome.
And Faye Young.
Oh.
You gonna get some rest on Monday?
Yes.
That's a bit.
And I just say to you, parents, too, I know how much work it is to be in a theater production. Thank you for the time you put into your kids also. It's a lot of work to drive them back and forth and get them there. So thank you for that.
They were phenomenal.
They were phenomenal.
And parents, if you got your pictures, you're welcome to stay, but you can get out to better things too if you like.
Another one at basketball.
Oh, basketball.
We have to leave. Yes.
You're welcome to go now. Have a good time. Thank you.
Good job, guys.
Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Good job. Have a great night. Good job, guys.
Thank you. Good job.
You right? Thanks.
Okay. Ryan Conigan for board member appreciation month.
Yes, so we got some little gifts from the OSDA, being there, walking. And we just wanted to, again, to be a thankless job of past board members and current board members. I'm sure you'll have that happen every once in a while, too often, but it can be a thankless job. Sometimes you appreciate it stepping up because it's not easy. Focus to help our kids. Thank you very much. Use a certificate from us and you have to. Just making. The person already second meeting for some people, it's all good, right?
Right?
And then, did you say the youngest person has to give it?
Yeah, that would be kind of
Yeah, Cindy.
All right. Next is curriculum. And hand it off to Rob.
I'm Dawn with the law board member. Nice to meet you. I'm the director of curriculum instruction. I know you received a list of new course proposals. We are here to discuss those in more detail tonight. Essentially, this is the time of the year that we introduce our changes and updates to both middle school and high school programs of study. Each year, we're striving to improve our course opportunities for our students to provide greater opportunity for student growth and achievement. So we have many of the presenters tonight who wrote the course proposals in the two principles, so we'll see more about it. A couple of notes I want to say, for the video production course, such a situation, it was marketing technology. The new title just really it better illustrates what the course is. So that's just a name change. And talking to our teachers about that particular course. So that's a name change. The other one that we're pretty excited about is the ACT work piece. That's for career development. We do that for career development. It specifically focuses on workplace documents, graphic literacy, and applied math. So we're excited to provide that opportunity to increase our job employer skills that we want all of our students to have. There are opportunities to earn a certificate, the National Career Readiness Certificate, and potentially to earn college credit through that program. We're excited to bring that to the city tonight. But I'm going to turn it over to several of our teachers and administrators who are here, who wrote the course proposals, who feel very passionate about what they do to add more course offerings for our middle school and high school. So, and I'll come back up at the end to address any questions or concerns you have and reallocate those accordingly. Someone else needs to see. First, I'd like to introduce Dan Barnes, our Tippett new high school principal. You get a second?
I wrote two of the course proposals, and I'm going to speak on the third. I'll talk about art here in a second. The two course proposals that I am offering to the board are an English and a math lab. We see a need not for a lot of students, but for a handful or sometimes we're more than a handful of students that might need that extra work in specifically algebra 1, geometry, and our tested English class. So it would be our 9th and 10th grade English students. And what the design of this class will be is it's kind of a tier 2 intervention. Students that are identified both through their state test scores and also teacher recommendation. Students that just need that extra boost. And they could also, they're going to take this class and they will receive credit for it. So it is not an English class. So it is not a core English credit of before they have to get to graduate, but it will be an elective credit. So that will give them an opportunity both in English and in math to really work on those skills that maybe missed a little bit the first time around. Maybe they passed the class, but still need that extra boost. So basically it would be taught by either a licensed teacher or an intervention specialist, since it is not a math core class. We're not as limited with who can teach it as it would be if it was one of our core math or English classes. So they would go for a semester, get a semester credit, build some of those skills up, and hopefully if they have to retake one of their end of course exams, they're better prepared to do that. So those are the English and the math labs. They may have any questions about those.
You're calling them a lab now, not using the word intervention. I'm curious of how it's a tier 2, first off, how it's a 2-tier, level 2 intervention. And I'm also curious if the name could be changed so that it's not such a deficit model.
Oh, absolutely. We can change the name, whatever bill we change to. So tier 2 intervention, when the state and education starts talking tier 2, they're talking small group. So we would cap this class at say 15 kids. A teacher would then modify instruction to meet the needs of those 15 students. It would not be a 25, 30 person class, and it may be even as small as 12. So that would be kind of our tier 2 interventions.
So would each student then have an intervention plan that's documented and goals?
Ooh.
Not known?
I guess it would depend on the student. If they're on an individualized education plan already, those goals would be addressed as well. But we could definitely set plans in place for at least groups of students that have similar deficits.
So, with this, is it also going to coincide, because you said that it's not necessarily the English class, correct?
Correct.
So is it going to coincide with what they're working on in English?
Correct.
Going to do that?
So it will be a support of what they're doing in the class, but also what we've identified as areas they can work on. Any other questions for those? Okay.
In that manner, I like the word lab because it's the course and then the application of the skills.
Yeah, because when I originally wrote it out as intervention lab, I mean, we're providing intervention for the students, but definitely maybe a change of the. So the third course I'm presenting is the CCP Art Appreciation class. As somebody who is very much not very artistic, I'm relying on Mrs. Morgan for kind of her background. So it would be a CCP class. Those students would receive, I'm assuming, 3 credits. Yes, it says right here, 3 credits through Sinclair. The shell, when we work through Sinclair, is pretty well defined by the college. So they decide what gets taught, what the scope of the class is, and what the books and materials that are being used. They define all of that. It depends on which department as to how much leeway our teachers have to deviate from that course shell, but they provide the syllabus, they provide the materials. And Ms. Morgan already teaches several advanced placement classes, which would be another area that we can offer support and also get college credit for. If you have any questions, I will answer them as best I can. Okay, well, thank you. I'm gonna now pivot to Mrs. Malak, who's gonna talk about math.
I'm Annette Malott, really happy with the schedule. And I'm here to talk about, two new courses that are two courses that we are looking to add. So we're gonna add these two courses to go along with our three AP math courses that we have. So different avenues of students earning college credit, college on high school. These two classes, first one is a business calculus class. It is $4 class to Edison. And for transferology, it transfers to, actually, I didn't find any. It didn't transfer to, the major, public universities or the university. So, it would be a course for students who are interested in any of the business majors. And then I found some of the colleges where it's great for biology. So we think that will be a great course for our students. And then the other one is introductory statistics. So that would also be through Edison. It would be a 3 credit hour course. We don't have a lot of students. We do offer AP statistics, which is really nice. It's still a great option for our students. We would like for more students to take statistics, and I think having an AP course will encourage more of our students to do that one, and maybe even encourage them to double up on math class. In the last decade, this is more important than it was before. You think that would be a pretty beneficial.
Yeah, as the only, your friends, you know, so with these college credit plus courses, do the kids actually go to editing?
No, we will, it's an option right now, courses, so that makes it work for you.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, thank you. Okay, thank you.
I have questions. So for both of them, what courses would the students have needed to complete prior to being encouraged or recommended to take these classes?
We have, I don't have the credit out with it, my have, for the statistics course, we recommend pre-calculus, but also, we put in the fulfill algebra 2 with teacher. So if they're a strong algebra 2 student, it is. And then the calculus, pre-calculus. Right, so either, the regular pre-calculus.
Good evening. I'm Ken English. I teach chemistry and physics over at high school. I am here to talk about two different courses, one for myself and one on behalf of the board. I'll start with hers. So I can answer questions that I can. I don't have all the detail. Her class is AP Environmental Science. It would be offered for 11th and 12th grade students to provide the motivated students who are normally taking the CP of the class. They're going to get more of a rigorous college accreditation kind of course. Here, this course provides students with the principal concepts and methodology required by the world and she has put that prerequisite for this class in the CP or accelerated biology as well as CP and accelerated chem. So it would only sort of a third year, third credit, five credit that they can get. But an alternative to doing something like taking
Well, the CP course for environmental, Earth's environmental, that's what it used to be called, Earth's environment will still be offered.
my understanding.
Yes. Okay.
So I am proposing to add 80 visits to our courses that we have offered. This year, I encourage each of 80 visits one, which is mechanics, so health is point A, point B, friction, gravity, things like that. 80 visits two is more of your field courses, so that is electricity, fluids, the other half of physics. For my student, he's all from one big class, and he rush to get through everything. My thought would be to do 2 different years. So this year I'm teaching one, next year would be two, the following you'll have to do one. That would, and you don't have to take one, take the other. You have to get an opportunity to either take one or the other, or if they don't want to go to them, be able to get them up. Take both. As a prerequisite, have to take them for either course. From middle school.
Hello, everybody. Got a lot to talk to you about with the middle school. But I did want to start with maybe a little bit of like philosophy behind it and where it kind of came from. In mid-September, we surveyed parents, sent that out. 160 parents responded. And so we were soliciting ideas on what the community wanted us to be teaching in the building. And a number of things popped out from that survey. 88% of respondents said that students should have a variety of electives. So we did want to see about expanding what we were offering. 91.7% of respondents said that students should have a choice in those electives and so forth. 69% of respondents said that we should offer high school credit classes to middle school students. And so with those things in mind, we kind of went from there. We did ask the parents in that survey what would they like us to teach. Of the top 10, the good news is we're top 6 of them. So that's great. Many of them science related, computer science, design tech, STEAM stuff. The next ones on the list were world language and leadership. There's also an ASL, which I would love to do a world language somehow. Right now, we don't really know check them all. But I'm open to that long term. And then the following one that's open that we don't teach is theater. So I'm going to talk to you about the first two, and then I will punt for theater. Okay. So world language, we did want to expand the offerings there, and so we did look at both French and Spanish. Obviously, the big consideration is we have the resources to offer that at our level. And the answer is yes, we can utilize some of the resources at the high school. So the teachers can come down and we can work on that. The two big things there is that it does permit high school credit at the middle school level, and additionally, it allows the high school to get further with more people coming in with that base knowledge. So instead of all of them starting at 1, we might already cover 1, so they can start at 2 and so forth. I can tell from some of the things that they offered that they're looking at their PCPs and AP range, and this is going to hopefully allow some of these kids to extend their learning up into those levels. When it comes to, well, before I start with leadership, if you have questions about foreign language, and then that way you don't have to lump them all together. I'll let you.
Thank you. So they used to offer foreign language when I was in junior high in this building. So I think it's an amazing ASL would have been awesome too. But I think if they take the course, would they have to take it for high school credit, or could they take it as an elective, more of an exploratory, to see if they wanted to continue in that track at the high school level?
At the moment, we are only offering for high school credit.
Okay.
And there is, and of course, you'll see, there is a requirement that they have a B or higher in their previous level English class. And that's because a lot of it is vocab and sentence structure at that point. And we were really concerned that students who might not have developed the skills in English might struggle with that, and we did not want to set them up for failure later. I do think if the resources we have more people in teaching, we can put them in the building better. I would love to offer some kind of introductory course at the moment. But right now, we're working under the scope of the that we have at the time.
I just want to say, I personally love this, like, as far as foreign language, I should learn to talk them, but I like that we're moving into that track, so thank you very much for presenting this option for us.
All right, the leadership course. This was number 8 on the list, second one that we haven't taught, that we don't currently teach in our building. And I love it. For those of you who have gotten to see me before, you know that I just don't want the students, I want the people. I want our kids to be developing those skills to, have high responsibility and high bars and lead other and hold into that expectation of people around them. And so leadership was something that we highlighted with Don Scott, myself, and Andrew Birkin. We solicited, different options on that curriculum, and we came out with a handful of them. And based on certain aspects, we kind of ranked them and decided on which ones to use. For example, like have to do with great because I like personal autonomy of it, but some of the other ones like character education. Dawn generally connected with the place and the doctor who wrote the program, there's accessibility. It's also, better suited for middle school students. We did look at the different modules and see which one might fit more age appropriate for our building, as well as what provides the most flexibility for teachers. I know that I want to honor the wishes of our community, and if there's some things that we want to highlight more or less based on the feedback we're getting, I want people to be, whoever's teaching that, to be able to move those modules around and focus on it in the way that we want to as a community. Lead for Change was selected for leadership too, because it is very project-based. We didn't just want head knowledge, we wanted that action. And we said, well, once you have these skills and abilities, so what are you going to do with it? And so that one, Lead for Change, was very heavily project-based. And so for those who completed the first one, they can move to the second one, and we want to see them in our community, in our building, somewhere into utilizing the leadership skills for bettering the place around. Any questions about leadership? Cool.
I was curious, but I think you answered my question. You did investigate a curriculum.
Yep.
So you all came to the decision that this Dr. Joe Hodel was the best curriculum available. Will there be a cost to the students for the curriculum?
I don't believe so. I'll double check on that. We'll get back to you. I don't think.
And which, so this will be an elective for students, or will it fall under like a credit for social studies?
No, we don't. We wouldn't be getting the types of credit in this class. It's purely an elective.
And which, like, will you be targeting certain students to promote it, or will there be open to all students?
It is. So the ones we've added, leadership is going to be available for 7. Foreign language is open just to 8, and the one that I'm not speaking about theater is open to all. So leadership itself will be 7 to 8. But based on what I'm hearing, I think we're actually going to run out of seats more so than we targeting kids and soliciting that. Parents that responded on that survey were very much adamant about leadership, and anybody who kind of bounced that idea off of, I think we might be sending off our teachers to fight teachers. Actually, I think it'll be probably one of the more popular.
Awesome, that was my question. What licensed educator would you need to do the class?
This would be one that is better known.
Okay.
It's very open. It's not specifically one or 4 subjects. I think that it does have some flexibility.
Okay.
But we'll probably try to, find somebody that has that can promote it as well.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
Sorry, in here. Sorry. In here it says in leadership 2, students will complete a long-term community service project through Lead for Change and earn an industry credential. I didn't know there was an industry credential for junior high.
There is, but I don't know how many points it is.
7 through 12, you can earn an industry credential 3 points.
3 points.
Oh, 3
Yeah,
points. Okay, thank you.
It's not the total 12.
Okay,
it's
I was-
3 point credential.
Okay,
No,
cool. Thank you, ma'am.
sorry.
That's okay. No, that's great. Thanks.
Decent enough to be good.
Yes, you can get
Yep.
And one thing, just in case it does come across the plate here, with the increase in student choice, we are considering Red Devil and offering a study hall instead. And the reason being is because Red Devil is appeared during the day, it's a one size fits all model. Every kid has to take it, but not every kid needs it. And we want to provide the support for kids that need that space, but not buying kids up who don't need that to take other courses. We want to meet the need of the kid, and so I wanted to make sure that that was clearly stated. Additionally, the FCF course, you'll notice that that might be a little less food. But the reason being behind that is, as you guys know, the Department of Education is heavily focused on Southwest careers. I know that's a priority for the high school. We want to build into that as well as leadership to encourage them to be financially capable and to have better opportunities for future development in whatever pathways. Ideally, I think that if we can do what we can to get folks to do internships in that 11-12 range, then it might actually track down to identifying career paths and possible selections at our age. And I want to be ready, willing, and able to support them.
Answered the last 2 questions I had. Thank you, sir.
Yes, and I want to say thank you for extending the Red Devil thing, because I have a child who texts me very frantically from school. We'll talk about that later. That she would no longer need to study hall, and as an athlete, that's really important for her. So I really appreciate that you explained that, and I hope the community heard that explanation as well, so that they're not.
If they need it, we want that.
Yeah.
We want to be successful.
Thank you.
And to talk about the third choice on the list, number 12 on our survey, is Candace Stevenson. She can talk about it.
I'm here to present a municipality class. This is something that parents and students have been asking me about since I got positioned 5 years ago. It's something that I've had so many people express interest in, and I've actually been working on this curriculum for about 3 years. I would like to focus on building up students, particularly at this age level. It would be wonderful to give them some confidence in our choices, be able to have them in their speech, and it really helps in other core subject areas if they can have that confidence and really focus on collaboration. So I wrote this class to be as flexible as humanly possible. So I have it in 4 sections. It could be for 4 quarters. I would love to be able to teach it year long, but if we need to split it up in any configuration, I'd be comfortable with doing that. I have section 1 that is the basics. It is for a survey of theater, what is theater, the basic principles, and just getting things confident in their own skin and confident in working together as a group and building community and trusting your peers. My second section is the basics in movement. It would be, oh, I'm so sorry, it would be preparing to produce. So section 2 would cover into like a production team, specifically scenic and costume design, lighting and sound, marketing, audience participation, and student leadership, specifically stage management and assistant directing. And it just gives the idea of all of the different possibilities behind the scenes. We're very familiar with performers and what we like, what we don't like. Nothing really be a matter of taste. And this section would give students opportunity to see backstage without really having much of a commitment. Not a whole stage track class, but building the whole set. It's more of the fundamentals, so they really gain an appreciation. So even if they never do it again, when they see it, they have more of an appreciation of what goes into it. And then section 3, if we were able to include this, it would be more of a performance-based unit. Ideally, it would be about a quarter long, and we would be able to produce a age-appropriate text that could be streamed either out to parents or recorded and distributed. I have several texts that would fit quite well with the curriculum I prepared.
And that allows students to divide into ones that are more comfortable in performance versus those that are more comfortable behind the scenes and work together as a group to produce a text that's specifically written for the middle school. And then finally, my favorites, personally, was theater around the world. It gives the kids an idea of globally how different cultures have expressed themselves, not just currently, but throughout history. And all of my units are very experience-based. They're meant to be hands-on, get kids up and moving. I'm not a big fan of desks and chairs, I'm a big fan of projects, and they're meant to be an experience. And if you have any questions?
I'd like to say that it sounds like you've really been working hard. It's very well thought out, very good. So thank you. It's a really great opportunity.
Yes,
it really is. Instead of, typically only at high school, they have performances and these kind of theater opportunities are basically, something bred in class, it's a part. So thank you. So you put a lot of effort, you have a lot of passion.
Make it report.
Come on in.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you all my for that. Any questions for me or anyone presenting? Yeah, okay.
Are these options viable to be, are all of these options viable to be integrated, or are these going to be in place of other options that exist?
All integrated.
Okay.
These are integrated.
And then the second part of that is there any priority on any of these? Would there be any reason to consider some of them not viable, some of them more important than others? Are we missing some of these, or is
I did not rank them. They are all feasible with the current staffing resources we have. So with current staffing, we're not asking for additional staffing to meet the need, the requirements of any of the departments. That's all concurrent. Which is great.
I'd say a lot of this is all the community is trying not to, we have kids.
Correct.
That's one of the questions I have, along with the staffing, so thank you for that, but
And student enrollment.
about how many students would need to be enrolled in some of these courses for them to run.
Our number changes
Okay.
from year to year. For some reason, I have not set the target number we've had discussions. In the past, it's been between 12 and 15, and of course, we have not had that discussion. I don't think it's set for, there are extenuating circumstances though. I mean, say, if you're trying to get a course running, like an AP course or an ACT course, you make exceptions to start the course, knowing that the more students who enter and talk about the course and perform really well, the more students enter into that program. So we do take all of the things into consideration when running a course, but there is usually a target number.
I have one more question. Yeah, so what was the process of selecting the music courses? Was it similar to the middle school with the survey?
I'm not sure if high school sent out a survey. High school did not send out a survey. However, these courses, so our process is these courses are dictated by November 1st, based on what the staff is. In the form of you're constantly talking to your students and the school community about courses they want to take informally. Even the formal survey informally, we're talking to your students regularly about what they would like to see in the high school. So I know those conversations were had by all of those people that presented tonight on new courses with Mr. English starting AP Physics 1. He had multiple opportunities to talk to his students about, okay, would you want to take an physics course? So for example, Mrs. Horn, who proposed the AP Environmental Science, have had conversations for the 3 years I've been here to try to start that course. So there are conversations happening all the time with our students to put forth options that we know they want to take, and that best is their future needs. So those conversations are out each year. Due to me by November 1st, but the time still feels, these last 2 months go quick. We even to try to get everything prepared, but we try to start that process as early as possible as it goes through all of the vetting, building leadership, district leadership with time and school board. And it seems early and early, I think.
I really don't.
We're in the middle of this year, we're scheduling and talking.
Yeah.
It seems early.
So I'm really excited to hear about the video production, like that it went well. Like,
Yes.
because we added up. So I'm very excited about that, because it's going very well. I'm very excited. I did have one question. With this new curriculum that's already added. Is this something that was offered directly right next year? Because I know scheduling like is getting ready to come up on February 1st, if that's right, it's curriculum night. So I just wanted to make sure like this will be implemented.
That's why I always have to send my vision for important things. So I hear from my high school friends, we have scheduling first week of February. So that's why the new courses always come to the board in January, because that process does start for our middle and high school before the next board. Thank you. So thank you. Any other questions? Thank you all. Thank you all so much.
But honestly, thank all of you for taking the time to work on the curriculum, planning things, organize this. Very much appreciated, and you're growing our students, so thank you. Thank you, appreciate it. Okay. Next, first semester bullying incident report.
So you have, in the document for the unit twice a year, each semester, providing numbers to, the post them. This is a requirement to verify pieces, and then most schools, which are a little large, they're working to address things and make sure that they hold high expectations for kids' behavior as well as academics. So I look at those things to go down, people are under expectations. That's just information to share.
Just a comment, I do think the introduction of some leadership courses will go a long way to addressing some of this stuff. So, Mr. Paul's a great job on that. Key to getting some of these numbers down. Instilling some of those values.
Yeah, this is just an update again. I put out there all the books that we're actually using from the book in December. We could handle that better to make sure that it's pointing out at the account for everybody that this is, even the books that will go into the different, libraries of the middle school, after all, and stuff like that. A lot of them are appropriate for those ages. Just good addition that we can do, or for me, good addition to our technology, looking for new libraries. So we're going to pass that.
Quick question, is there a process by which we vet materials that we see? Because that seems to be the overall preferred thing for the community about all this, and all these were accepted. So what, somebody, whoever has that information, what does that look like as we vet these materials and the information that's in them, whether or not they're appropriate?
There's board policies for libraries and things like that, so we would go through and check it out and do support. Actually. $25 something, the selection of supplemental resources and library materials, and board policy, and then talking about enriching sport curriculum, student growth and background, background information, students make intelligent judgment, diversity of viewpoints, and feel representative of cultural groups from contributions and heritage, and the whole. So, and then I think we also have to be aware of other piece that, is this, controversial policy, making sure that we're providing information, we're not pushing anything, and not promoting anything. So the balance goes.
Is there a person or a committee or people who do that actually?
Pretty much the librarian you select.
And I just asked because I think it's important. There's a lot of questions.
Side note, I just know like, when I would get donated books into my classroom, and I was a teacher, I would always work with them as well. So I know a lot of the teachers in the district, when they get donations of books, they always make sure that everyone is done with something useful in the classroom, so. All right, next is executive session. We're going to adjourn to executive session with the motion, for the purpose of operates under Board of Education Policy 0166 and Ohio Revised Code 121.22 G1. To consider the employment of a public employee or official. Potential invitees include but are not limited to Mr. Barnes, Mr. Moran, Dr. Tuttle, and the Board of Education attorney. Official action may follow the executive session. Do I have a motion? Motion. Motion by Mr. Cooper. Is there a second? Second by Mrs. Jones. Mr. Sweeney?
Dillard,
Yes.
Drum.
Yes.
Maine.
Yes.
Tom.
The time is now 6:54 and we will head into executive session. Are we going back into the, over to the speakers?
You're good.
All right, the time is now 8:09 PM, and we are back from our executive session, and there is no action that will be taken. Okay, next, we're on to committee reports. Miami Valley CTC minute, Mr. Mayne.
Well, I had a rather lengthy report to give you because there's a lot going on, but I think I'm gonna cut it short since we took a little time. So basically, on January 9th, we had our organizational meeting. Same process as what we went through here on January 3rd. Our next board meeting date, and we set our meeting dates, which would be the second Tuesday of the month. And unfortunately, in that process, one of those meetings, they had a conflict of time with, and so they proposed to change the meeting to the second Tuesday of July. So I'm going to have to skip that meeting. We did our annual evaluation, or let's say it's in process, our annual evaluation of our superintendent and our treasurer. And then the other thing we talked about is it's time to discuss developing our new strategic plan. And in the past, the board used a group called Strategic Leadership Associates LLC. So it was proposed that we use that same firm to handle our 0 to 5 year projections and so forth. So that's what we're going to be doing there. It was reported that the applications for the class of 2026 keep arriving. And as of January, let's see, the date of this report was January 5th. As of that time, we had 1,400 applications. And to put that in perspective, at the same time last year, we had 1,211 applications, and the year before that, 1,110. So, we're about 290 applications ahead of where we were 2 years ago. We have an upcoming meeting for the Finance and Audit Committee, which will be this coming Friday, and I'm on that committee. So that'll be January 19th, from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock in the morning. Some of the things I do want to point out that, let's skip this part here, but one of the things that came up was we have one of our instructors, Mrs. Melissa Goodall, who's the computer programming and web applications instructor, was named as the 2024 recipient of the Space Educator Award. And I thought that was pretty cool that Miami Valley CTC has such a good reputation with our engineering and space science and technology program. Also, let's see, we had several students who went to the National Trail, in the Preble County Historical Society, and they created an event called the Enchanted Storybook Trail. And they were honored with a special reception with First Lady Fran DeWine. A big thing that I wanted to point out was what they call the Bridging the Gap, which is a day of exploration for biotechnology and medical lab students. And in that, the Junior Biotechnology and Medical Laboratory Assisting Program toured the labs at Sinclair College. And this experience allowed the CTC students to ask questions regarding the transition from high school to college, navigating online and in-person coursework, and how to be successful at Sinclair or any college as far as that goes. And then finally, the construction update. The construction project is almost 98% complete. And during the course of the project, the construction team and contractors have logged more than 839,950 hours to get to that point. So one more thing coming up, I think it's important to note this too. In the adult education process, there's a free Machine Shop 1 class, and it's offered from January 23rd through April 11th. And the hours for that program are Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 5:30 to 10 p.m. So if there are any adults out there that are educated or interested in that free program, That's a good time to go. And then, we have blood drive coming up on January 26th at the CPC. And then later in the year, we have the MVCPC Walk to End Alzheimer's in Dayton, so if you want to get involved with that, I've done that before, and that's at the Day Air Ballpark. But that's not till October 19th, so there's lots of time to sign up. And then we have our fitness classes are back with our new gym over there. So you can join in the fun at 3:15 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays if you're interested. And there's also yoga classes that are available if you're interested in yoga. And they get started well, they've already been started on January 8th, and they are on Mondays. And let's see, the classes for the first semester are $40 per class. So that's my report.
Any questions? Thank you.
You welcome.
All right, next is, the Tipp Educational Endowment Report. So this grant cycle, we actually awarded 5 grants. They awarded 5 grants that will be, included in our consent agenda later. So congratulations to all the award recipients. And then also wanted to send a just reminder for parents, the Tipp Educational Endowment Teachers Award, emails will be coming out before we know it. So if you want to be a fantastic teacher, make sure that you fill out the award. It is done online starting last year. I think, all right, I know you guys went to the library.
Yeah.
Would you like to give a little kind of report on that?
Sure. I had the honor of swearing in Adam Blake, and he is one of the members of the library board. They're still looking for this as well. So please contact Lisa Santucci at the library for additional information and how to get involved.
So I attended the park board meeting on Wednesday, January 10th. And the main item of agenda was the Tipp City Area Arts Council presented their intent to hold the Canal Fest again. I believe this is year 13 or 14 for the Canal Fest. And we just wanted to get the okay from the Parks Board before they actually have to go to city council. She did make a request for a need. There's a need for volunteers, that a lot of the work of the Canal Fest is on the members of the Arts Council, who are all around my age or older. So anyway, and then there was another presentation from, I'm not sure his exact title, I believe he is the supervisor, but he oversees quite a few departments, you know, electric, sewer, the parks, and he presented that there will be some more upgrades to playground equipment at the various parks. Thank you for the update on parks. At this time, you said a few comments. You don't say the person's on their computer. Oh, here it is. Okay, so we will go ahead and move on. All right, treasurer report, Mr. Stevens.
All right, well, I left the monthly financial report on the agenda, but I have a note in there that states that the December report was not ready for review at the meetings were kind of moved up a little earlier, but also December is the last month of the calendar year. There's a lot that has to be done, and just not ready now. We're still close to wrapping it up on Monday when I came in. No one was here that day. It was very quiet. I didn't get a lot of work done, but I didn't work on it at all today because everything was still being done. But I just want to let you know that I'm continuing to look at it. I'm very close. I think I'm a couple $100 off of my reconciliation. I always try to get it done in a penny. I can always get it done in a penny. If there's a few things that just need to be ironed out. So we'll get that taken care of. I will try to just have that on the work session agenda for your review in February. And then hopefully we can get the timetable. Give me used to the timetable. I can make sure we get those reports ready for you on our second Tuesday of the month. After third Tuesday of the month. Throw me off, Rick.
You are next.
So there is no attachment for this month, so there's nothing for you to review. You present that later. So that, want to make sure I verbally told you everything about that.
And yeah,
Amber,
fiscal year 24 appropriation amendment.
we need a motion for approval.
Oh, just kidding. My bad. Missed that part. We need a motion for approval of the fiscal year 24 appropriation amendment.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Dean, seconded by Mr.
There was only one change in our appropriations from last month to this month, and that was because we received a wellness grant from the Southwest Ohio UPC, Educational Person Council. This Dr. Fettlehoff wrote the grant and for a wellness initiative, and we received a grant for $11,100 that we will be using to help our employees. I think it's the Shelby Wellness Center that's over here by the high school. We're going to have representatives come in and speak with all of our staff members. They'll all receive a voucher to go in and get the services done. And so we have from now until the end of the school year to do those services. I know Dr. Cuddlehoff is on that right now. And once we spend the money, and we've got 25% up front, and then we're going to spend the money, and then we'll report to the UPC the results of that grant, and then they'll fund us the rest of the money to cover the rest of the stuff. Last year, I don't know if it's better than the one grant last year, but I know the UPC started this process last year at Milton Union. We did the same thing, not the same exact grant, we could receive a grant there. It was a good process, and was very helpful for the staff. So looking forward to seeing this grant continue on an annual basis. So that is the only change. We just need to include that grant in our appropriation so that we can spend it. So that's the only change I have.
Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and vote on that then.
Maine?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Dillard?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
McMurray?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens, this is you again with banking discussion.
At our last meeting, there was, someone commented that Park National Bank, the bank that we use for most of our local banking, they are closing their Tipp City facility, just because they're not getting foot traffic. They're still a local bank. They're in Troy, they're in Piqua. The good thing about banking is that a lot of it's all digital and done online. So my intention is to continue banking with Park National Bank. They do a lot to support the schools and support the community, and we can still cut checks electronically and pay those out and receive deposits in the state, no problem. But I will need to open a new account with one of our local banks so that we can do daily deposits from the building. And so I'm just letting the board know that I will be checking in with some of the local banks closer to our school buildings. I'm trying to make it so that we're not driving very far, but I'm going to go in and speak with some local banks and just see what they can offer for us in terms of a depository account so that we can make those daily deposits. I'm not looking for a checking account or anything like that, just a bank that we can deposit money into. So I'll be going and looking around. If you have any suggestions, I'm open for that. Looking on the east side of 70, so the Greenville Federal is right there on the corner of High and Main Street, and then there's Monroe Federal that's got a bank, an older branch there on Main Street, and then they've got the new branch right where the old Taco Bell location was, and there's also a U.S. Bank.
Like a
Yeah, there's a lot of things. So I'm gonna, just letting you know, I will be going and talking with them, telling them our needs as a depository, and probably be setting up an account in February. And we'll do a depository agreement like we did with Park National Bank with the board approved. And, so that's the status of that.
Do you have a, sorry.
I would, you know, you asked for suggestions, and I think the most federal has been the oldest bank in the city. I think, to be honest, you know, that might be something to consider too.
The only question I was gonna ask is, do we have a relationship here from Park National that's able to, now that our local branch is closing, whatever relationship we have there? There's somebody who kind of bridge that gap for us, and one of the other local branches like.
You need another local. So the woman who I work with at Park National Bank, Lisa McGraw, her office is at the Tipp Bank.
Okay.
But all of those banks are usually, we can usually work with those if we ever need anything else. But Lisa is my go-to local representative in this area. I see her at all the events. She's everything. So
She's already not attached to the branch.
correct. Yes, she's not. I know that all of the members at the branch are using the options of they're going, they're working at another facility or they rather it's a package. So, okay. Yeah, I know that, Amy, I do that, my council single clerk, she's really sad to see the bank in this area close, but she's looking forward to a relationship. So,
You have a goal in mind of when you want to have that established, that you will bring it back.
in February.
Okay.
The facility, the park facility isn't closing until March.
Okay.
And Lisa made me aware of this in with December, but I, anyway, still wanted to use park. Yeah, very good with them and what they do for us. Our fees, our vet fees are almost non-existent with Park National Bank, and I'd like to see what other banks would do for us for the deposit.
Also, that's.
Exactly. It's easy to add a bank
Yes.
for a depository. It's a lot harder to be changing all of
Yeah,
your
all the.
routing numbers.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
That's all I have for that.
Thank you, Mr. Stevens, appreciate that. Okay, new business, consent agenda items. This is our consent agenda. You guys can see all of it, reservations and hires, excuses, remote positions, overnight now state trips, programs and study digital education, donations from multiple organizations. Thank you. So I will entertain a motion for the, captain of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Meany.
I'll second.
And this consent we won't. We will do that.
James?
Yes.
Murray?
Yes.
Dillard?
Yes.
Drum?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
All right, new business. Committee attendance for 2024. So I need a motion for approval of the following board representatives to,
Open it up for discussion.
yeah, just open it up for discussion. So we're gonna open it up for discussion, so I'll just need a motion for previous approval of the following board representatives to be on the district committee established by the superintendent and treasurer. Moved by Mr. Johnson. Seconded by Mrs. Dillard. And then we will just open this up for discussion. Okay. So. You guys there to start? Okay, fantastic. All right, so basically every year there's a appointment committee that help with some superintendent communication, whatever they need. So in the past, these are the ones that we've had, which is strategic plan, facilities, grounds and safety, legislation, liaison, board of head policy, student achievement liaison, personal and contract negotiations, finance / audit,
communications, business advisory council, athletic council, Miami Valley Experience Agency, Tip City Economic Development, Tip Monroe Community Services, Tip Educational Endowment, and the Tip City Park Advisory Board. So when you become a member, you also get other committees to add to your list too. Wonderful. So, I think you guys got a little bit of information about these before, but, after some further review for a minute that I've been on the board with Mr. Lee, some of these committees kind of overlap each other. And so we kind of had a discussion, Mr. Marion, about some things that we could do to combine or change or whatever. So you guys kind of want to go through and we can kind of decide what you want to do. So, the first one is going to be the Finance and Audit Committee. I don't have any actually representation, but
There should be one.
There's one on your.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a pile of stuff here in case you haven't seen mine. Right here.
Did we get clarification
Yes.
about the sunshine law regarding the users?
Yeah, so we can, do it or not. Something.
So we do not have to vote, yes. Okay, so.
On the third page, and
Same,
right at the bottom, finance / audit committee.
oh, thank you, okay. So this person, this committee typically has a chairperson, treasurer, 2 board members, superintendent, assistant superintendent, or director of services, community services. Meet semi-annually or as needed. So in the past, which one that was 2. Okay, so in the past, that was, I think it was, yeah, it was Mr. Maines and Mr. Cassidy that were on it. Mr. Maines, did you want to stay on the finance and audit committee?
Sure.
Okay. Is that,
Can I ask a question?
yeah, 100%, yeah.
What's the opinion on the value of our participation? Because I'm not opposed
Yeah.
to jumping in and helping do whatever I need to do, but I need another thing to do, like another hole.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah.
I totally understand.
So I'm not opposed, but at the end of the day, I think we should maybe look back and possibly you and Mr. Maines to be informative about this. We could look back and see what committees we provide the most value to, or what we might derive the most value from. And then possibly, is there opportunity to not opt out, but sort of recuse ourselves from somebody that historically
Yes,
that maybe we're not getting anything out of it.
and that's kind of what, Mr. Green, I think, in, a list the other day, that him and I kind of talked about how some of them overlap each other. So, and Chris, you chime in anytime you want, darling. Okay, so one of the things that, is cool about these committees, so for example, Mr. Means is on the Miami Valley Career Technology Center one. So he goes to those meetings, learns about what's going on, and he kind of becomes the person between the Miami Valley PTC and Tipp City, so we know what's happening. We have a lot of meetings every time.
Yeah.
I've been on Tip Educational Endowment for 2 years, and it's been really cool to be on that process to see like how the grants that come into the community then go into funding amazing things that our students are doing, and even cooler things that are coming in the future. So it's nice to have a little bit of a presence there so that we can bring that information back and then spread it so that those organizations can do well. That can make sense.
Sure.
On those. Now, some of them, for example, like facilities, grounds, and safety, like that one, that's more of like digging into what we have going on right now, which is, you know, the new building project that you know, is kind of going underway and talking about that kind of stuff. So different boards have different responsibilities, depending on each one of them. So one of the boards that I looked at maybe not meeting anymore is the strategic plan board. So if you guys want to look at that one really quick, we'll start there. So,
I'd like
yes.
to know, so, yeah, so I attended the park board meeting, I'm not a member of that board, I was just there as an observer and listener, and, so are some of these committees, are we members of these committees as part of the decision making, or are we always there as just a listener for communication purposes?
That was a question that I.
That's a great question, and it depends on the organization. So, for example, in T, they have, like board positions that you, like trustees. And those people are the ones who have to vote on things. But the rest of us are just members who kind of watch and say what we think is important or whatever and try to vote on it. But each one of these is different. So like Mr. Maines is actually on, right, I'm correct, that he's actually on that board.
So he's a voting
Sorry.
Which one is that?
Because it has VCTC.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so different things have different responsibilities. So if you continue to show up, like when you go back, if you want to join that one, if you go back and ask them, they may say, oh yeah, you can go. You know, it depends on that particular.
I guess my concern is that how, so they're making decisions, and so just finding out about that at that time, you can't be representative of the school board and make a statement that
Well, look,
I
look,
participate, do you
like,
understand?
look at the history part of the Bible. You're an ex officio non-voting. There's 5 members that they have, you're an ex officio non-voting member, so you can offer input, they can solicit input from you, with your basic point of awareness, but you don't have a vote, but you have a vote.
Okay.
In that, to be depending on the economic development. It's all listed here, what your spot is.
So I'm not trying to, again, like Kyle said, downplay any of these. But if we're an ex officio member and we're not necessarily voting on any decisions, we're just being informed. Is it possible to invite them like once a quarter, or us attend once a quarter to see what's new, or just meet, like, instead of attending every meeting?
So the parks, I think, is like that, correct? Like there's a ones of,
They meet like every other month.
yeah.
So
So if you miss it, it wouldn't be you don't get in trouble if you don't go to these things. It's just,
I think the board has to determine what they.
Okay.
yeah.
That's what I'm trying to.
And these,
Yeah, yeah.
and these are the ones that. Yes. That's, yeah.
Yeah, and you don't have to sign up for something if you don't want to do it, or it doesn't sound exciting to you. Like you're not married to like, you are required to have 5 committees. There's no,
Well, I don't think all things are equal. I think some of the value of some of these is just representation
Yeah.
and being connected. And I think the value to maybe some of these other ones would be if you're to get on the board and have a vote or whatever. And I think I'm just interested in targeting what means the most to us and what can we mean the most to.
yeah. So if
And
you
I
want to
think,
do it that way, you want to start that way, like what,
Yeah, so again, as these are, again, our committees, I think having somebody on the finance audit committee.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
if you need to, there are a couple of people. I think the facility ground, facilities and such, yeah, we need a couple of people.
Yeah.
Policy, definitely need a couple of people.
Yeah.
Student achievement lands on, again, when I look at that, I don't know.
Are
I
you
believe
already
that
doing
name
that?
beside it is Aaron Moran.
So I don't know if that's something that's personnel contract negotiations, well, that's, when we get to that point, we'll figure out how we want to handle
Right.
it. Communications, again, I think how we want to deal with things right off of that, position.
Yeah.
Building, but again, I don't think we need to do that now. That, so, the business advisor, we're already doing it through money, and we've done the USC. I don't think that's necessarily for that. Athletic council, again. Is it something we want to do with athletic council, or we want to do it? Art council, or we don't have those other things involved in all of that, or is that? You know, the way people that want to be on that. I'm open to those things. Economic development, community service, those are all more municipal parts, those are all municipal. So that.
The one that you did leave off was the library.
Yeah.
So I mean, for the two of you here who have actually served on this committee, have you, I know you've spoken to the value you found just from seeing the connections and how the endowment and all that. And so what's been your experience with like finance and audit? I think what you're doing with the Miami Valley Career Technology Center is great. I think that's a value one to be part of. But are there any that you guys have participated in that you're like, I don't think we can be part of that, then we can from us?
Now, the ones that I've been are good. I mean, I like them. I think they're important. You know, finance audit is really not that difficult in the past where it comes into play is more when you have the state audit. You know, we go to the state auditor, send us a question, and you may already have to do. But, you know, it's important to the state auditor perspective to have that contact with our board.
And I think being part of the 5-year forecast would be another thing.
Yeah.
So
it's working for them.
yeah, so I think that's maybe definitely. And I've been on the facility committee and got to see a lot of things with different buildings that otherwise I probably wouldn't have seen. Like when we went up on the roof over there and how they and solved the desperate problem over Broadway and so forth. And we need to know those things. So the purpose of that committee is being able to have input to the people involved. For example, Carmen Miller, they need our board input. So that's been very important. That committee is good. And I like to stay on that committee too. So all the committees I'm on, you know, I'm willing to sit on again, unless someone, I think we're only allowed to have 2 members at most on any of those committees, because we have 3 that constitute the board meeting. We have to make the public and all that kind of stuff. So we can only have 2. So if there are 2 people, other people that really want to be on a facility, I'd give it a try, but, you know, but if there are 2 people want to be on the audit committee or 2 people that will be, you know, on the MDCPC, that would really be one.
Yeah.
And you know, I like going to that. So yeah, that's a good committee. So if you don't mind, I'll stay on this. You know, but I think that Aaron hit it on the head with some of these, like where we're just an awareness function, you know, where we don't need to really have them. But the others are important. We need to have each of these people, each of these on it. Policy one, that's extremely important too. And we feel a real leader. He did a really good job, but especially for the needs of health. I think. But that's a toughie. Yeah, no doubt.
So as we go through this, so like we do, like say, like, can go over that team if it's needed or not.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that help? Okay, so finance and audit, like Mr. Rain just said, it includes like the 5-year forecast and like the treasurer committee and stuff like that. So I have on this list possible people with title and need. Do you guys feel like that might be a committee that you still want to be a part of? Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Get Rick out.
Oh, no, that's okay.
I know. Are you gonna cry?
Well, let me
Just don't
just,
take me off the CPC.
That's all you have. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think that she might be problem.
let me just say this.
I don't even balance much.
I I would like you on my.
No.
I check my account every day, but I don't.
Angie, with all due respect, I think there are a lot of areas that you have a lot of value to in these.
Okay,
And I feel like there are very few that I would add much value to,
okay,
especially when it comes to, policies and some of the more, education
okay,
focused things. Where I do feel like I can add value would be something like finance and audit and facilities,
okay.
just because I have a pretty extensive background in both.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
I just think I think it's two,
Yeah.
so we would do it together, unless Mr. McNeil.
Yeah,
was-
that's fine.
Are they done?
No, I'm cool.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to
Okay.
get Mr. Names off.
Hey,
That's okay.
you go with Kyle. I'll
Yeah.
take it next time.
You go ahead.
He's like, no, it's fine, guys. Fine, I've served my 2 years on it. I'm good. Okay.
That's just from the perspective. There's
Absolutely.
a lot that I don't
Yeah.
feel like I do, and I think you probably have more options.
So definitely the need to, and Amber with the educational
Yes,
thing too, so.
but as we were the suggestion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you guys cool with that?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, so it's gonna be you.
Okay.
Kyle Thompson and Angie McMurray are on the finance / audit committee. Right, don't worry, we'll find somebody for you, I promise. Okay, so facilities, grounds, and safety. Mr. Brand, we're making sure, this is the one that you and I talked about that I need to say, correct? Okay. Okay, so I know I have to say,
All on the first.
so I don't know.
I'm good.
Okay, so me and Mr. Maine to stay on that one. Okay. Legislative liaison. So I think I was formerly in, and I don't,
Well, we definitely would.
That was one year.
yeah,
Yeah.
we don't, yet. So we're gonna pass on that one. Okay, Board of Ed policy. I love this committee. I've learned a lot on this committee. I would like to stay on it, but if someone wants to kick me off, I totally understand.
I don't know, people that.
Yeah.
Do, yeah, so the other person who said he would like to do it is not. Yes. You.
Let's do it.
Is that cool? Awesome, here we go, Kyle. Getting fun.
Yeah.
Yes, me and Kyle are in policy. Oh, boy,
You seem to really like it.
I really like it.
I
love
think I
Laura.
can have a good time.
And Norm is such a
I'm
good
only
time.
joking.
Oh, is it Burkhart, Dr. Burkhart? Oh, he's so much. He was my hiring superintendent,
Yeah.
Butler, and my
He's a good
professor for
time.
my
Norm's a
master's.
good time.
He's the best.
It's gonna be great.
Gosh.
Love it.
Hi, Norm, if you're watching.
Kyle and Michelle. It's gonna be great. Student achievement liaison, that would be Aaron Moran.
I was gonna say, isn't that, yeah.
Yeah, he's already doing it.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you. If you need help with those things, though, you know, always can do that. So first, personnel and contract negotiation, the person on the list right now is just Andrew Murray. We've had one person in the past, and so, okay, this is the one. Anyone else needs to be on contract? I've done that before. Yeah. Does the need, would you be the backup?
But again, it says as needed, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
So Cindy will be the backup. Yeah. So yes, Cindy will be the backup on that, and you will be the new person. What was we doing? So communication, this is the one I definitely want to talk about. So one of my ideas was to have building representation instead, so each one of us would kind of be in charge of a building. Not in charge of a building, but like
A liaison.
a liaison for that building. So we spend time going there for activities or events that are going on in that building to kind of build some thank you, like communication back into the report. Does that sound like something that everyone can like that?
I like that idea.
I love it.
So at this time, we don't have to decide exactly what building we're gonna do. We can kind of figure that out if it makes more sense for people to do certain ones or whatever. But that was kind of my thought on that one. Yeah. So, and then we can kind of, maybe we'll, if you guys did know what building you'd like to do, and then maybe we'll put that on the next one, and then we can officially have it. Does that work for everybody? What building we're working?
I have a question
Yeah.
about, so like, you know, we get the updates and the calendar things, from Liz and, you know, the principals and the updates. But how do we get the updates about, how do we know when I don't know, the kindergartners or Jason, you know, the gingerbread man or whatever? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Or
That's
fuller-
shared calendar.
There hasn't been anything because you came on board right when we finished break.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everything's scheduled through the year, so now I have to go through and manually go in and see what you might want to be invited to for a daytime event.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
And that's not a bulk function that you can be in.
Yes, the way it's set up.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of work.
I mean, it won't be going forward as you add it on.
Yeah.
It's all at once.
So we couldn't just be given like access to the Google Calendar of the middle school or access to Broadway calendar, the Google Calendar.
That's more a tech question than a Liz question.
Is it
Like a permission, like it would be added on to the
So
calendars.
the G Suite that we guys use?
So there's different levels that each building principal uses their calendar. So I'm not really sure how much. Yes. And I think your calendar would get too full, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So I
But
think
you can just look at each, you don't have to look at all of your calendars at once. You can pull up.
Yeah.
correct.
But I think we're getting every single one except for Robin, as far as what's going on in the building. Like we get the newsletters, and the information's in there too of what's going on in the building.
But I think what the question is more in reference to the classroom activities that might be special that wouldn't necessarily appear on even a building calendar, right? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
We'll take care of it.
Okay.
We'll get you set up.
And I just like to
First
email.
grade, the first kindergarten, first grade kindergarten performs at the high school goes down.
Yeah.
But the juggling out that is back. Which is part of that.
Right.
Correct.
So this presentation is.
Yeah. I see what you're
That
saying.
might be interesting to you.
Yeah.
Right, well, just being supportive
Yeah.
Right.
visually, you know.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what the building representative is going to essentially do. Like, if there's one person that they're only saying, hey, so listen, this is coming up, we thought you might really like it, then that gives you the opportunity to go in, you can see it, and then you can come back and tell us about how cool it was. You know?
Right.
That's why I like that building representative. Yeah,
Great.
to me, because then you're not responsible for going to all of, I don't know. Because it can become a lot if you're trying to go to all of them.
Right.
I can usually get through 2 buildings in 1 week, if I'm lucky. Okay. All right, next is, let's see, athletic council. So I have listed Rick and Angie were interested in that.
I have 2 already, so I'm gonna pause on
On
that.
that one.
Mhm.
Okay.
If anybody, I mean, I don't mind, I just, how often do they meet?
As needed.
As
Okay,
needed. So, and this is not, so here's the confusing part. Because it's not necessarily athletic research.
okay. This is
The problem is we don't really have a set idea of what this is.
Okay.
So, for example, like I meet, on the athletic handbook committee once every like couple of months. or whenever Mr. Kramer comes in, and then I go and do work on the handbook. So like, but that's not necessarily the athletic. So we can decide, I guess, as a group, if we're gonna do the person who is already going to athletic booster meetings and just wants to report on it, because she's already going there.
Sounds logical. Go.
So that's what we kind of have to decide.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah,
Sounds logical to me.
so,
That sounds like Amber.
oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine. You're gonna be on that one, right? Fantastic, me and Rick are on. Miami Valley Career Technology Center is their name. Okay, thanks. Okay, this is another one. Questioning? No, that was good. And we skipped Business Advisory Council because it's already within my own county. Yeah. The Tipp City Economic Development.
Did I even ask you?
Yeah. Are you still interested in that one? Okay, we'll put. in. Tipp and Road Community Services, Andrew, you still interested in that one?
So if anybody else wants to, that's cool too.
Yeah, okay, so.
Is that the right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you okay with not doing that, or do you want to do it?
No, I'm cool.
I know that every day.
Oh, yeah, no, no. She's awesome. I don't.
You are elected on that one.
I don't know if two people, I mean, unless they say
No,
that 2
you're good.
people.
No,
Okay,
perfect.
okay, cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
If anybody would like to be on Tipp Education, Donna, I would step off, but if not, I understand it. Fantastical. And then advisory board for the parks. Okay, and we are,
What about the library?
oh, so we have to decide what we want to do. Do we want,
With the library, really, there's policy that's already in place and what.
Oh, yeah.
And everything, so this is talking about actually developing it. And the policy's already there, and how things go, and so that we notice, and we put out the numbers.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, and we're hoping, and stuff. I don't know if it's.
I don't.
Required, I don't know. How
Okay.
I think that we before the fantastic job of coming and going on.
Absolutely. I just want to make sure we're not contributing them or anything. So, that's something. Cool.
And if not, then she can let us know if we get someone to show up.
On the list that Erin had sent us, there was a music teacher representative, and then there was a question.
Yeah. So I talked to them. Right now they have a new board president, so they'd like to wait a little bit so he gets comfortable, and then if somebody would like to come and hang out with him, and see what's going on, so we can go with that. So let's leave that for later date discussion. Cool. Great, this is awesome. Okay, we're all set.
And sorry, just one last
Yeah.
ask. As someone who needs dates of meetings way in advance, will we be provided with those in or whatever? Okay.
Yes, so typically, in all situations that I've been on so far, you get some sort of notice from the organization or the person who's in charge saying there's a
Minor
meeting on a
notice.
date. So you'll typically get a message from Mr. Mayor, you know, you policy and what that, so it can be flexible. All right, any questions on that? Good job, Aaron. Okay, moving on. Here we go. Oh, wait, do we have to vote on it now? Yeah, we started a motion. Okay. So we're gonna vote now on the approval of the following board representatives to be on the district committees established by the superintendent and treasurer. And then I can go through the list. If you want. Finance and audit will be Kyle Thompson and Lindsay Murray. Facilities, grounds, and safety will be Mr. Griffin and Ms. Amber Drum. Board of Ed policies will be Amber Drum and Kyle Thompson. Student achievement liaison with Mr. Aaron Moran. Personal and contract negotiations with Andy McMurray and James Dillard as the backup. Communications is undecided at this moment. Athletic council will be Rick Maines and myself, Amber Drum. Miami Valley PTC will be Richard Maines. Tip for the education and office development will be Cindy Dillard. Tip Monroe Community Services is Cindy Dillard. Tip Educational Endowment is Amber Drum, and Tip City Park Advisory Board is Cindy Dillard. And then we'll vote.
Thompson,
Yes.
Dillard,
Yes.
Drum,
Yes.
Maine,
Yes.
McMurray.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay. Next, motion for approval of the OFCC notice of conditional approval package. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Maine. Second by Mr. Thompson. And Mr. Rand, you have the same.
So we have in the package, it's three parts that need three specific, resolutions to accept. You see a resolution to accept the master facility plan, which you get outlines supporting new elementary, middle school, grades 8, renovation to high school, to upgrade 9 to 12, allowance to date and demolish Tip Central, dwelling and tree and topic, including middle school, handling allowance of people in middle school. Again, this is only the street portion of classroom facilities that the OSB will help fund, at 82% of that. The better plan, the base plan. That's all accurate, and again, we'll break it down. So right now, based on the state share, it would be $29.9 million that we would get to fund back to us. We talked about roughly $30 million. That's what it is right now, and given the actual reimbursement stage, it could be adjusted based on student numbers and everything like that. So that's the first part. The second part is the resolution for the $500,000 maintenance requirement. And we are selecting the district to dedicate proceeds from the permanent improvement tax in the amount equivalent to the amount required. And we already have a permanent improvement levy that we collect. We're going to use, instead of passing on the taxpayers, we're just going to take from that permanent improvement levy to pay for that $500,000. So we have that baked into our plans with the permanent improvement levy, so there's not an additional tax levy put on that. And that's going to be allowed. You can add that to the bond levy, but we said no, and doing that, we will fund budget to see that. And then the project agreement, again, we go through the whole project. This is the whole project in regards to what can and can't be done and being done in regards to what the new construction is for classrooms. We're going to work with the OFCC to make that happen. We're going to abide by the guidelines and manuals there. We have allowances spelled out what we're doing, what we're not doing. Again, demolition of allowance for the buildings. We're not putting money into swing spaces. That's not part of this. We put money for site access safety. We said no to the storm shelter a couple months ago, so that's not in there. There's radio access, ADA playground services, additional allowance, LED allowance. That's all spelled out what we do. No additional allowance to the playground service and radio and the dollar amount to that as well. So, and then spelled out what initiatives we're doing with the maintenance garage, the tennis courts, paying off the loan, that's all part of that. So it aligns with everything that we've been talking about. And, we're hoping to get this before Christmas. It didn't happen. We put it last week, and No,
Oh, even worse.
yeah,
Great.
they knew what our board meeting was, so we got to, but they all match it. It's the same stuff we've been aligning with them on, to make sure that we're aligned with that. So, I'm cool with that. I'm gonna find something to make sure that- So we just need to approve all those resolutions, excuse me, approve the resolution, set the master facility plan for the Elk Partnership Program, resolution to not use our current plan, improvement levy, which is adding additional millage, and then approval of the program, the Elk program itself. Approve for the president himself, and, Mr. Stevens will represent this one on there, and so we'll do that in CC. What questions might be there?
How much does the demolition cost and all this?
They have numbers, estimates for that, and if you go to the map, you can see.
Yeah, demolition shows up 61 tonnage inside the back.
Yeah, we had it on the, we probably very sensitive.
I might have it in the small version. Hold on.
But it's broken down by building.
Page 17, there's 500,000 for Broadway. It looks like, all going to be refurbishing that.
Yeah, that's a big allowance, so it's really 17.
Like it's about $1 million.
There's quite a few, it's broken down by building, so you have demolition, so if you go to, it's page 18, you go to actually page 18 of the document, 142, it spells out, so you have abatement of, it's one of the, yeah, it's in this document though, it talks about, abatement for this is asbestos abatement is 567,000. Demolition is 506,000. 259,000 for asbestos replaced abatement and 476,000 for demolition. 497,000 for asbestos abatement and demolition is 285. So it's broken down by building page 18. The tip central, never copy, don't be ball and block. And then middle school is the next page, and that's asbestos abatement of 675,000 and 703,000 for demolition. It's a lot. Which is, yeah.
Any other discussion? We're not reading it. The motion on the table is for approval of the OFCP notice of conditional approval package. The package includes a letter from OFCP, resolution for the school district to accept the master facility plan for the private facilities and construction commission, expedited local partnership program, OLS with resolution intent to dedicate proceeds from the permanent improvement act in an amount equivalent to the amount required for the maintenance of the classroom facilities, ACMO, including in their expedited local partnership program, approval of the OSBC expedited local partnership program project agreement, and subject to some of the. Another? Yeah, it's all one.
Yeah, we should declare all of those. I'd say we can just put that packet, we have all of those, I put all of those in full resolution. I have lost two of the first.
Mr. Maine and then Mr. Thompson.
Give me one moment. I'm
Okay.
gonna play with this and have them all in here. I could tap my keys a little louder.
Please do. I know.
Yeah.
Sorry for moving like that.
No, all right. Okay, I am ready. Maine,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Dillard,
Yes.
Drum.
Yes.
McMurray.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next, our next upcoming meetings, the next work session meeting will take place on February 6th at the Board of Education beginning at 6 p.m. The next regular Board of Education meeting will take place on February 20th. The 2024 eligible intermediate school beginning at 6 p.m. Really quick, Mr. Stevens, I just want to publicly say congratulations on your own. We're very excited for you, so congratulations. All right, and now I will take the motion. Moved by Mr. Murray. I will second that. And we will go ahead and vote.
McMurray,
Yep.
Drum.
Yes.
Dillard.
Yes.
Maine.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
All right, the time is now 9:12.